it's Hannah. So today is kind of just gonna be, I'm just gonna sit down and chat with you guys and just tell you guys kind of how I'm feeling, what's going on, and yeah. So today I was sort of thinking a lot about what kind of my life has been like since becoming a mom. I have a 3.5-year-old and a 2-year-old, you guys don't already know, and it's definitely not an easy thing. My husband's in the kitchen. I've always struggled with my weight growing up. But growing up, and especially like in high school, plus size was never a term that you heard very much, and if you did hear it, it wasn't in a positive light. So I always just felt out of place, especially in my friend group. I was always the biggest one. I was never I was always like, so I guess I kind of used humor a little bit, so I was always like the funny fat friend. And now looking back on it, if I had been able to go back and tell myself, like, I was not fat at all. I was just a little bit bigger than most of my friends. But, so kind of that shapes a lot of who you are and how you treat your life and treat yourself in your life. Then, once I became a mom, after my first daughter, I breastfed her until my son was born, and had a great experience breastfeeding, and also in the process lost more weight than, like, I got down to less than what I was before I had her. So, like, I was feeling good about myself. And then I got pregnant again when she was 10 months old, and, like, put on normal pregnancy weight. For the most part, actually, when I get pregnant, I lose weight, and then I put on weight, which, I don't know, whatever. It's just how my body is, I guess. But then after my son was born, there was a whole bunch of, like, I moved around from my mom's to my father-in-law's house, and then it was just kind of, my anxiety and my depression started to kick in, like, really severely, and I started putting on weight, even though I was breastfeeding my son. But because of my anxiety and depression, like, I wasn't eating great, so I didn't have a whole lot of milk this time around. So at about 6 months, I had to switch him to a bottle and formula, and that was kind of another thing that added to the anxiety as well. But just overall ended up putting on a lot of weight. And for the first time in my life, I went from being straight size to now technically being a plus size, and having to learn how to not hate my body and hate how I look, and be kinder to myself, because, look, I grew and gave birth to naturally to human beings. So, that in itself is a pretty awesome thing when you think about it. But if you don't actually sit and think about it, it just is something that, like, you did, right? So, kind of sometimes have to stop and actually tell myself, like, I grew 2 humans. Like, it's okay that I weigh a little bit more now. Am I in love with my body? Not every day. A lot of the times, it's not easy. Especially when we're constantly still bombarded with all of these images on social media and on TV still of all of these skinny girls. I mean, we've come a long way in being a lot more body positive, and I think that it's something that needs to continue because we still have a long way to go. But now having a daughter of my own and having her be so impressionable, I really want to make sure that at least from me, she's seeing she's seeing body positivity. So if she does end up being a little bit overweight, then I don't want her to hate herself the way that, you know what I mean, I did growing up. And even with my son too, right? Like, men can have body confidence issues as well. It's not just a female thing. So the only way that she's going to see that is if I am more body confident and nicer to myself. So I've tried to kind of stop focusing on the size and just, when I shop for clothes, just choose and buy what fits me and what makes me feel good regardless of what size it is. So, like, that's something that's been difficult, especially not having a whole lot of options where I live for plus-size clothing. Like, really, a lot of the time I end up buying my clothes at Walmart. But, I mean, hey, Walmart's got some good stuff, so it's not the worst thing. But just, it's, like, some days it's really, really hard. And it's not easy to love yourself and talk to yourself nicely. And some days I look in the mirror, especially like most days when I'm not wearing makeup. Wearing makeup for me is maybe a once a week thing if I get the time to do it without 4 little hands in there trying to grab all my brushes and stuff. So it's not, I don't always know how to navigate this journey and the new body that I have and try and be nice to myself. It's hard a lot of the time. But I mean, like, my husband is great in that respect. He's never made me feel self-conscious about my body at all, ever. That's never been anything that he's ever mentioned to me or commented on anything. So in that respect, he is great. But, I mean, I think the whole journey is just about trying to be more accepting. And hopefully that bleeds into other areas of our lives and our world, and just be accepting of people no matter why they're different. It doesn't matter why anybody's different, whether it's the color of their hair or their skin or the size of their jeans or how tall they are, how short they are, where they come from, how much money they have. None of it matters. We are all humans, and we need to treat each other like humans. And sometimes it's hard, especially having 2 little kids, watching the world that we have right now. It feels like we're taking steps backward, and I don't want them to go through the stuff that I went through. I want them to have a better life. I mean, all parents want their kids to have a better life than they did, but it's really hard. So just kind of wanted to make this video today just to remind everybody to be kinder to themselves and to be kinder to everybody else, because there's no reason why we need to be mean or hurtful to anybody, whether it be online or in real life. You have no idea what somebody is going through. And I've learned that's a very difficult way, having had a lot of stuff happen to me in the last couple of years that I didn't share with more than maybe 3 or 4 people. So just remember that you never know what somebody else is going through, and just always be kind and love yourself and love everybody else. And I guess that's all the rambling I have for you guys today. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.